Hi, Year 7. In this video, I'm going to explain how to divide by a fraction. Please follow along with your yellow books and write down the examples as I go. And once we're finished, there will be some work for you to try on your own. Alright, so this is just a little bit of revision from last lesson on how to multiply fractions together. So first we multiply the numerators. So the numerators are the top numbers. So we do 3 times 1, and that becomes my new numerator, 3 times 1. Then we multiply the denominators, 4 times 2, which is 8. And that's how easy it is. Times the numerators, times the denominators. Now, example 2, we do 2 times 2, which is 4. Then at the bottom we do 5 times 3, which is 15. Now when you get to the end of any question, you need to check, can I simplify my answer? Which for the first two, no, we can't simplify either of those. Next I've got 4 times 3 as my numerators. 4 times 3 is 12. Then I've got 5 times 10. And 5 times 10 is 50. Now, this one I can simplify. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both the top and the bottom of the fraction by 2. All right? And that's going to give me a new answer of 6 over 25. All right, last fraction. So this one's a little bit different. I've got 3 over 4 times 2. Now, some of us talked about this yesterday and some of us didn't. But 2 is just the same as 2 over 1 because a fraction just means divided by. And 2 divided by 1 is 2. So we times the whole number by the numerator. So we do 3 times 2, which is 6. And then the bottom, we just leave it the same. We do 4 times 1, which is just 4. Now we can simplify 6 over 4, which is 3 over 2. Or if we want to write it as a mixed number, 2 goes into 3 once with 1 remainder, and our denominator stays the same. Alrighty. So this page is straight from your yellow books. So please find it in your yellow book. It says dividing by a fraction at the top. What does it mean? So if I start with 3, so I've got 3 whole circles there, and I want to divide them by a half. So divide 3 wholes into groups of 1/2. How many groups of 1/2 are there? So I'm going to take this circle and I'm going to split it into halves. All right, so I'm going to color them all different colors. The first circle, I'll color half in yellow, the other half blue. So I've got half and half. Then the next circle and the next circle, split them into halves. So I might color half green and half purple. The next one I'll color half in orange. And the other half, let's go red. All right, so I've divided those 3 wholes into groups of 1/2. Now, how many different groups of a half are there? There is 6. So 6 different colored groups, 6 different colored halves. So dividing by a half, so dividing 3 by a half is actually the same as multiplying by 2. All right, so these are the instructions on dividing by a fraction. So step 1, flip the fraction after the division symbol. Step 2, multiply the fractions. And step 3, simplify your answer. So let's just go through an example just quickly here. Now this is not an example from your book, it's just one I'm making up now. So we'll do a half, oh, I'd rather it in black. Let's do a half divided by 2/3. Okay, so step 1, flip the fraction after the division symbol. Okay, so we write the first fraction down the same, and the second fraction, we're going to swap the 2 and the 3. We're going to swap places. So we're going to put the 3 on the top and the 2 on the bottom. Now, instead of dividing now, we're going to multiply. So we all know how to multiply fractions. We do 1 times 3 on the top, and on the bottom we do 2 times 2, which is 4. Now simplify your answer. We can't simplify 3/4 any more than it already is. So our answer is 3/4. All right, now let's have a look at some more examples just below us. All right, so example 1, we've got a half divided by 3/4. So we start by writing our first fraction down. So a half. Oh, that didn't work very well. Let's try again. Half, there we go. Now we flip the second fraction around. So we're going to swap spots with the 3 and the 4. So the 4 goes on top and the 3 goes on the bottom. Now instead of dividing, we're going to multiply. So it becomes 1 times 4 is 4 and 2 times 3 is 6. Now we can simplify our answer. We can divide by 2. And half of 4 is 2 and half of 6 is 3. So our first answer is 2/3. All right, let's have a look at B. So I've got 2/5 divided by 3/8. So we write the first fraction down like normal. We times by the second fraction, but we flip it around. So the 8 goes on top and the 3 goes on the bottom. So now we just need to multiply. 2 times 8, so we're doing the top part first. 2 times 8 is 16, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now it's up to you if you want to change your answer to a mixed number or if you want to leave it as an improper fraction. I'm going to leave mine as an improper fraction as 16/15. All right. Example C. So we've got 3/5 divided by 1/9. I'll start by writing out my first fraction, 3/5. Now I'm going to times by the second fraction, but I'm going to flip it first. So 9/1. So I do the tops first, the numerators, 3 times 9, which is 27. And then 5 times 1, which is 5. Now, I can't simplify my answer. I can make it into a mixed number if I want to, but I'm going to leave it as an improper fraction. All right, so that's my answer to A, B, and C. Alrighty, let's have a look at D, E, and F now. So D is 6/7 divided by 1/4. So I write 6/7 down. I times by, and I flip the second one around, 4/1. So 6 times 4 on top, and 6 times 4 is 24. And on the bottom, I've got 7 times 1, and 7 times 1 is 7. All right, next fraction I have is 9/10 divided by 2/3. So I start by writing down 9/10. Now instead of dividing, I want to times. So I write my times down, and then I flip the second fraction around, 3/2. All right, so 9 times 3 is 27, and 10 times 2 is 20. Alrighty, last one down the bottom. I've got 4 over 3 divided by 5 over 6. So I write my first fraction down as usual. Then I times instead of divide, and I flip the second fraction. 6 over 5. So 4 times 6 on the top is 24, and 3 times 5 is 15. That's it. So we write the first fraction down like normal and times by the second fraction, but it's flipped.